Hi guys,
Welcome to the Bookbinders podcast.
I'm Charlotte,
And I'm Sarah.
and today we're going to be analyzing Fishtail by Lana Del Rey.
From the Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard album. What a mouthful. Alright, so we'll talk about some of our first impressions of the song.
Initial thoughts?
Yes.
I thought it was very interesting, the name.
Because
The name, that was fun to decode. Because
yes, it definitely was.
it's only said once.
Really?
Yeah, in the entire song.
Fishtail, what's the matter with that?
Yeah.
We'll get into that lyric. I think another thing that really intrigued me the first time listening to the song, and I remember telling you actually, was like the beat drop. It was like randomly the beat just drops, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah. The beat drops.
I think it reminds me of 505 by the Arctic Monkeys, like the part where he goes, "And I crumble completely when you cry," and then beat drop. That's really epic.
I love beat drops.
And I think a lot of this song really represented a lot of a different vibe coming from Lana. Like this is similar vibe to Dealer. What we see in Dealer like has that same like little twist on the melody. We don't really see like it kind of has like a beatbox kind of vibe.
Yeah. The rhythm is very interesting, especially in the chorus part with Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Because the words, they don't really sound like what she's saying.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
It's very like synthesized, I don't know, electric pop. If we're going to Midnights by Taylor Swift, how Taylor Swift kind of changed her sound for the whole album. It was very synth pop, per se.
And did you have a word that you would sum up the entire song?
Ooh, okay, that's a good question. I think throughout the whole Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, I've been going towards a very Daisy Jones and the Six, Camila, Billy, and Daisy motif, as mentioned in multiple other songs. But regarding Fishtail, I think a lot of what the plot line depicted was almost unlike no other song that I've heard of in my life. Like the plot line is very different, and I would say power, like very very similar to what we explained for Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
That one was very much about power.
Yeah, it's very much about power.
And I could definitely potentially see how power would fit with this song. I said manipulation. Okay. Which ties in a bit with power. I think
what I mean by power is definitely power through manipulation. So yes, I very much agree with manipulation because it's power and manipulation both combined. Alright, first lyrics? Okay. Don't you dare. Okay. Don't you dare say that you'll braid my hair, babe. I'll let you.
So, well, this is a very interesting opening because the babe shows it's like a significant other, of course, and then braiding your hair is a very intimate act. Yeah. But she's saying, "Don't braid my hair," which is very interesting. To like say that to your significant other.
I'll say that the definition of braids, like the significance of braids, I looked more into the significance. Did you look at like the significance of braiding hair?
No.
Well, the significance of somebody having braids in their hair, I think some good examples of this are Katniss from Hunger Games and various other princesses, like you could say like Game of Thrones. There are multiple people with like braids in their hair, and they're generally people who are depicted with a lot of strength and power and wisdom. So the overall meaning of having braided hair is strength, power, and wisdom, and an overall let's just say thesis that I came up about the song was whoever she's singing to has a lot of power. We can say perhaps he's a king or something, and she's like a commoner, and this is very fantasy novel oriented. But braiding her hair means that he's giving her this like false positive power, and she's saying, "Don't braid my hair because all I ever wanted from you was love."
Oh, that's like interesting.
My whole motif. Anyway.
I love how the braids tie in with power.
Yeah.
And it is very true. In like literature and pop culture, braids
for
are
sure,
powerful.
for sure, yeah.
Like in Game of Thrones, you said.
Yeah.
There's a whole culture where like
exactly.
if you lose in battle, you have to cut off your braid to show the shape.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
Even in Star Wars, I'm pretty sure Anakin had a braid for strike. Yeah.
Like
it's the Padawan braid.
Yeah.
The Padawan braid. I used to put braids in my hair like Anakin.
I love the fantasy novel aspect.
Yeah, the fantasy novel aspect. I feel like we're both readers, so we love
I took this in a much more like, I don't know, California drug summer. Basically, how your summer like high.
Seriously, I didn't even like. I contemplated this in like a very mystical way.
I took it in, for once, like a bit of a Daisy Jones sort of way.
Okay,
which is like,
I guess it's
on
drugs.
Yeah.
So, do you have a final consensus on the first line?
Well, the whole analysis is going to explain this more, but what I wrote here is that like she doesn't want him to braid her hair, the babe. She doesn't want whoever her significant other is to braid her hair because it's like an intimate, caring act. Because you took it very much as power, but braiding for me is like it's something you do. Like you braid your little sister's hair before they go to bed. It's a caring act. Yeah. And it's very gentle. Also.
Oh, I get that. Yeah.
So like, she loves whoever her significant other is, and if they don't love her back, she doesn't want this.
That's so interesting because I feel like the difference that we kind of took in analysis here was, Charlotte, you decided to choose something more about the act of braiding, while I was more about the significance of a braid.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. No, but I can definitely see it going both ways. Yeah. There's so much evidence of it going both ways. So let's go into if you don't really care.
If you don't really care.
Well, let's combine the next two lines. We'll say, if you don't really care, you wanted me sadder, you wanted me sadder.
Okay, so you can go first.
Well, first of all, repetition.
Yeah.
You wanted me sadder, you wanted me sadder. Repetition should be very emphasized. Well, repetition is emphasized because it's repetition, but that also means that whoever wrote this is directly telling you, hey, there's repetition, look out, understand this, retain this. So
the repetition is very significant.
Repetition is like, and especially
and that particular phrase, she repeats it so many times.
Because it's you wanted me sadder, and sadder is an interesting adjective. Why don't we get into that?
Yeah. Because she's not saying sad, it's sadder.
Yeah, you wanted me. That means initially she's already sad. Now, how does this tie into your little poem?
This line, you wanted me sadder, it ties in very much because to me, when I looked at this, it like showed he's trying to control her emotions. Okay. Which is where the manipulation plays in.
Right.
He wants this like sad girl who he can control almost. And that comes in with the braid too, because braiding is a very childish thing, so you can like braid her hair like a doll.
And I think the reason that Lana Del Rey actually might have wrote your motif is I didn't even turn on this later. Okay,
we can edit that.
We'll edit that. Okay, edit. So Lana generally writes about old men and having affairs and relationships with these old men, and that also means that she's small and naive and lots of naivete. Majority of her songs. So I think that really ties in well because you wanted me sadder means sadder and younger to manipulate. Yeah, exactly.
And that line, this whole thing of like,
if you
a little girl ties in very much with the next line, but we'll see. Yeah. So like, what about if you don't really care?
If you don't really care, okay. Well, I'll tell you what I kind of. This line confused me. I won't lie, but well, since my whole motif is this guy is in power, whoever she's singing to, I'm calling him a guy because Lana sings to guys. She says the whole idea is he's in power, she's not in power. She comes from humble beginnings, very like closed up background where she doesn't have a lot of these experiences and all of these influences like he does, where he has a lot of power and decision making and a lot of things going on. He doesn't really care about her actual feelings and like, does she really want to come into my life and take all of these responsibilities? If we get married, then will she really provide for this kingdom? I've created a whole plot in my head.
That's interesting.
And you wanted me sadder could represent the fact that he doesn't really care anymore. Like, and later on she says Bayou, which could represent the fact that she comes from a different kind of power, and maybe he also wants to obtain that other power and cares less about her.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I love the whole fantasy motif.
I see Pocahontas would be a very good example of what I'm going towards, because there are two different types of power in Pocahontas. We have the power from the English, and I'm talking about the Disney movie, and the power of that, like, the Chief Powhatan had and all of that. There are two different kinds of power, but you know the English wanted both of the powers, and they're both different. Yeah.
One of like the chief, it was almost like power from knowledge.
Yeah, power of knowledge, exactly.
Whereas the other one was like inherent power that you just have because you're European.
Yeah. I think it could also go the other way around though too, because the Europeans claimed that they had a lot of power with like being able to read maps and do this, Vasco da Gama and like Christopher Columbus. But we won't get into history.
Okay.
And then if you don't really care, so once again, he doesn't really care about her feelings and what she wants to do or what she chooses to do.
Oh, that's interesting. I interpreted that phrase very different. Not very different.
Okay, well,
like,
I'll let you get into that.
I took it not care as in like care about her feelings, but just like care about her in general, like love her.
Yeah.
Like, and I like that she says if, because that if, it does show that she's not sure.
Yeah.
Which, it gives almost like unreliable narrator. If you don't
really
care.
Yes, yes.
Because she doesn't know if he cares or not. She doesn't know if he loves her.
Yeah.
So I took that to be as like, she's unsure and sort of lost. And I don't know where I got drugs. It just gave me a sort of
that's interesting. If you don't care. If
you don't really care. If you don't really care about me, if you don't really love me, then I don't want you to.
Yeah. That means, and once again, I feel like she's giving him an option.
Yeah.
She's telling him, if you don't care, you can be with me. Like, I want you. She loves him.
She does love him.
She loves him. And, except, he doesn't care, but she can't certainly say that.
She can't say that. And then she's like, this act that she's saying, like, don't braid my hair, it's sort of protecting herself. Yeah. Like, because she does love him. I think that we can both agree that from this song she loves him. Yeah. But she sort of...
Well, there are a lot of endearing things.
Yeah. She sort of has this idea that he doesn't love her back. And she's unsure about that. And so to protect herself, she's saying, like... Yeah. She is giving him a sort of choice.
Yeah, she's giving him a choice. Okay. Any final thoughts?
I think we pretty much covered what
I'm reading all of my annotations back. And
yeah,
we have all of these annotations. It's insane. But from A&W, which is also a part of the album, there was a man mentioned named Jimmy, and I think I've generalized all of the men she sings about from this album as Jimmy, so I've been writing, so Jimmy doesn't care about Lana.
I like that. In my analysis on this, I just referred to him as if Babe was his name. Like,
Babe does not.
Babe tells her that she's the one for Babe.
I've been referring to him as Jimmy because Jimmy. Okay.
So and then B line, or at least I consider it B line.
B line.
It's the only line where she says the title of the song.
Okay. Fishtail. What's the matter with that? What's the matter with that? Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So this line, I took it as Babe is the one speaking.
Okay.
I'm just gonna refer to him as Babe because that's all my analysis.
That's not. I'm thinking about what you're saying. Oh my god. Okay. Continue.
So I took this as like Babe is saying that, and then this fishtail, this is clearly being used to address someone.
Okay.
Or at least that's how I took it. And since it would seem to indicate that she likes to have her hair braided in a fishtail, And Fishtail's a bit of a childish nickname. Like, you would nickname a little girl Fishtail if she had braids in her hair.
Yeah.
And so this is sort of like him being almost patronizing or condescending. It's like, Fishtail, what's the matter with being sad? It's almost, this is the manipulation that I was talking about. He's asking, like, what's so bad about being sad? You know?
That's a good point. Not to, I think, to add on to your whole idea, fishtail braids take a little longer than a regular braid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that just adds to how long that enduring time that they spend together, like durates over.
Yeah, and the name Fishtail, it's like the nickname of a young girl. It's like a little girl, Fishtail, and someone naive too. Because the only thing that you're addressing them as is their hair.
Yeah,
not a
Fishtail was
grown
not
woman.
like that. How interesting. I like that. I, on the other hand, Fishtail was the matter with that. I kind of took it as she was saying that to him, like, this whole time she was being manipulated by him to have this power, to have these responsibilities, and then she's like, Fishtail, why? Why would you do this to me? Why are you putting me through all of this pain? So, therefore, what's the matter with that? But I like yours, because I never thought of it as Jimmy could be talking to Fishtail. or they could be talking to Babe.
Babe.
Okay.
I think your analysis is interesting too.
Yeah, I think both of our analyses are really good for this one.
Yeah.
Because we have stark ideas for what this song could be.
And they're very different. They're almost
very
like
different,
parallels.
Or
Or anti-parallels.
No, I agree. I like that. I think yours is more contemporary, while mine is like a little
Much
bit less. Yeah.
Fantasy.
I was probably reading a fantasy novel while doing this.
I must say, it's very nice to hear your fantasy analysis after several days of just reading Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah. Okay, skipping rope in the bayou. Repetition.
Did she say bayou or bayou?
Oh, I thought it was bayou. Like the location.
Like,
what did
like
you
the
write?
swamp?
Like bayou, like next. I'm like bayou,
interesting.
or is it? Wait, it could be a play on words. It could be skipping rope in the bayou. It could be like referring to her child.
Yeah, that's how I very much took it.
Yeah, that's how I took it as well.
Referring to your child.
Very childish.
Skipping rope is such an innocent little girl act.
But then why would she be skipping rope by him?
That's a good question. Which is why I thought it was like in the swamp. I have a little bit.
No. Like, I also thought of it in the swamp, but now I'm thinking, are they both in the bayou? So it's skipping rope in the bayou, they're in the swamp, but bayou. Like, bayou.
That's interesting. I have some whack analysis on this line.
I've got some whack analysis on this.
No, really, it's very weird. Obviously, the skipping rope is a very innocent little thing, but then in a bayou. In a swamp. You can't jump rope in a swamp. You can't even like walk in a swamp. So you're doing this like playful little childish thing that involves like jumping in a swamp. And so I took it as like, because you can't skip rope in a bayou, then that's what the relationship is like for like, it's like trying to skip rope
metaphorical
in a swamp. It's like trying to skip rope.
It's so interesting.
In this like muddy water, and you can't. And she's just trying so hard. She's this little girl. Well, she's not a little girl, but she's being treated like a little girl, and she's trying so hard. But Babe just doesn't love her, and she just can't skip rope in the bayou.
That's so interesting. Oh my gosh. I literally took it at face value. I didn't even think about the bayou until now, like the play on words bayou. But honestly, I just thought of it because that goes back to what I was saying about two different types of power. Bayou in New Orleans, I feel like it's very spiritual for a lot of people. So that could mean a spiritual type of power that she has. She grew up with all of this spiritual power, skipping rope in the bayou. And that kind of attracted him to her by having that initial power. And I feel like she has inherent power from from because that spiritual power comes from your influences, meaning your parents and the people around you. So I took it at very face value.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I love our analysis.
Yeah, I know. It's so
analyses.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
How do you pluralize analysis?
Analyses.
Analyses.
Can we just call it analyses?
Yeah.
Did you know
Analyses.
there's tunnel under ocean below here? Go on. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Slip softly
Into rain.
Slip softly into rain. Okay.
This is interesting.
What the heck?
Yeah, I didn't really analyze this.
Me neither.
Because I was like, what?
Slip.
You're in a bayou, yeah, you're gonna slip.
Oh, is it slip or sip?
I don't know.
Slip softly in the terrain. No, yeah, that makes sense. If you're in a bayou, you're gonna slip. For me, I think it just depicts her childhood, like once again, like where she resided. But I didn't really think about this a lot.
That's basically what I said.
Well, softly.
Yeah, the softly is interesting. Slip softly.
Yeah. The connotation of that is like
graceful,
delicate.
delicate.
Yeah, delicate.
Slip softly into rain. When terrain to I have no idea. But when I imagine that, like slipping softly, I imagine more of a woman rather than a little girl.
I agree, actually. That's a good point you make.
Because like children are abrupt.
Yeah.
They like fall aggressively.
Okay.
They don't really slip softly.
Good point. But I guess we can move on.
Yeah, we can move because I didn't really
say
much about that.
Say about this. But I feel like when Lana wrote this line, she probably put a lot of thought into this line, and we're just like stumped. So, Lana, tell us what this line means, please. Actually, I would love to know Lana's thoughts on what all of her songs that we've analyzed actually mean.
I would be so interested.
Yeah, like because how far off have we gone? we overlap, analyze everything. Trademark.
We do. I mean, we analyzed Jimmy.
Yeah.
Even though one person said, "Why would you analyze that? It's stupid. It's just copied from a K-pop song."
That's actually hilarious. That one of our friends were like, "Oh my god, you guys can't analyze it. It's just nonsense."
And then we analyzed it.
Though?
We analyzed it.
We analyzed it. We actually found a conclusive thought for that. Stay tuned, or not.
Wait, not really. Stay tuned.
Don't really stay tuned. Okay. That's bad advertising. We should keep that. Okay. I skipped it. Not that smart, but I've got things to say. She's older now.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a progression of her childhood. Skipping rope in the bayou starts off small, and then she'll be like a young girl.
Slipping softly
in the terrain, that'd be like mid-20s,
yeah,
and then like
not
smart, but I've got things to say. Late 30s, or like mid-30s. I don't know. I'm not in my 30s.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't really attribute this to an age, but that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
and I can definitely see the development in the sense.
Yeah, the development right here, like
stanza. First,
honestly, I hated poetry. I still hate poetry. I can only do these analyzations. Is that proper? Analyses because it's song lyrics, and I listen to the song and be like, "This is so great," and then analyze it. But for some reason, I hate like when people read poetry. Is that just me?
No,
because some people are like, I needed to fight for my rights. Like, I get that. Like, it's great. That's great poetry. But I just hate poetry readings.
Sometimes it's a bit cringy.
It's a little gauche.
Yeah, if they dramatically read poetry, I'm just like,
now you're cringe. Well, we've been dramatically reading this anyway. We're not reading it.
But the whole snapping, like you know how they instead of clapping, they snap.
Oh my god, no. That's so bad. Okay, we need to focus back on this song. Okay, not that smart, but I've got things to say. You go.
So, not that smart. some people say that about themselves.
Yeah.
But usually, at least from what I've observed, they say that about themselves because someone has repeatedly told them that they are not smart.
Yeah.
Or made them feel like they're not smart.
Mm-hmm.
So I took this as like someone who's innocent and naive, or at least people perceive her to be innocent and naive, being told that she's not smart.
Mm-hmm.
But she's actually smart because she has things to say. Let me see what I said. She's saying she's not smart, but it sounds like it's something that she's been told, not something that she actually believes.
No, I agree with that. That's a good point you make. I think I figured out something kind of similar to that. Not that smart, but I've got things to say. Kind of implies that she's not going to want to be the one to dictate. Like, she doesn't want to be so-called king, like I don't call him Billy. Jimmy. Sorry, Billy. We love you, Billy. Okay. But I've got things to say kind of implies that she wants a voice, despite the fact that she doesn't want to rule. She doesn't want to have this power. She wants to be able to say, "I don't want power."
Oh, that's
so. I'm not smart, but I've got things to say.
I have things to say. That's interesting.
And I think pent up things. That's what it could also
yeah,
be.
I also took it as like pent up things.
Pent up things.
Especially when she repeats this.
Yes. Not that smart, but
I've got things to say at the very end. Like,
You've
I
got
definitely
things to say.
took that as pent up. She has a lot to say. But I think in throughout the song, she does show that she's not smart. She is smart.
She's very smart and attentive.
She's very attentive. She's like very aware of the entire situation.
These are like all small details that she's almost paid attention to. That's insane.
The fact that she is recognizing the fact that she's perceived as naive shows that she's not at all naive. Like,
exactly.
She's aware of her situation, but just sort of trapped by it.
All right. That's all I've got for that line.
Me too.
Okay. So palm trees in black and white. I'm so tempted to say I see in Technicolor, but we're not there yet. Palm trees in black and white.
It's because I like that word.
Let's combine that with I like to watch them sway.
Okay. So what did you say?
Okay. So palm trees in black and white. I just viewed that as very Daisy Jones. I feel like this whole album is very Daisy Jones, but palm trees in black and white, it's because you cannot see the colors, you cannot see the full picture yet. And she likes to watch them sway because she likes the idea of not having to be involved with all of these other details that so-called Jimmy has to go through, and all of these little annoying things that Jimmy has to do while he's king. She likes to just watch it. She doesn't want to be involved in it.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow.
I said that in such a weird way, though.
No, but I like that analysis. Because I didn't see it
Well, how did you see it?
Because the swaying, I couldn't figure that out. I was like, this doesn't fit at all.
Yeah.
Because the black and white, well, first of all, I noted a location change. Yeah. Because previously I had this set in, like, New Orleans in the south. Yeah. Because of the bayou. But now, the only palm trees that really grow there are palmetto, and they don't sway, so
You did a lot of research.
I was Googling palm trees for like 20 minutes.
That's what happens when you overanalyze.
But I took it as, number one, a location change, and number two, the black and white. It's very stark, and seeing it's like either right or wrong, left or right, like this narrow-mindedness almost. And then I like to watch them sway. It's not a very deep lyric. I think that's what was tripping me up. It's like, or maybe it is deep. Yeah, it's just like, but if you take it at face value, after all the deep ones, it's just like you're watching palm trees sway. Yeah. And I didn't get anything like you got. Yeah. Like interesting analysis. It was just like, this is a pretty not shallow. It's like surface level observation. Something a naive person, a narrow-minded person.
Yeah, I think that goes into the naivete of like, I like to watch them play, meaning she likes the pastime. She doesn't really want to like be so active or involved. But I like the diction sway here because it's palm trees, they sway, but then they also like aggressively blow in the wind and fall over in like Florida. But that's interesting because she likes to watch them sway, and because they're swaying, that means it's the like calamities. It's very calm. It's not like aggressive. She likes everything in peace.
Oh,
which I kind of just
the diction of sway is nice because
the
it's very
diction of
gentle.
sway.
And like, if you really imagine it, or at least if I really imagine it, I can feel like a warm breeze and like California sun.
California sun, and the movie starts.
But then the fact that she's just like sitting out in the sun in California watching palm trees sway, and the only thing she's noticing is the fact that she likes to watch them sway. That's one of the lines that gave me a sort of like drugged feel.
Yeah, actually I agree with that.
And it's also showing like this is potentially one of the most naive things that she says. Yeah. One of the only like childish.
Well, just wait until the next line.
Well, oh my god.
Okay, the next line, we'll say, do you want to say it or should I say it? Well, you're so funny. I wish I could skinny dip in your mind. You're so funny.
I wish I could skinny dip inside your mind.
Okay,
I completely forgot about this when I said that may be one of the most naive things, but this definitely ties into that. It's like, you're so funny, but that's
so empty.
I know.
It's the most emptiest compliment ever. It's not even a compliment. It's like, you're so funny.
You're so funny.
You're so funny.
It's
like the lol haha.
That's what I was thinking. Actually, I was like, do I mention the lol haha? Because that's what it's
Are we gonna mention the lol haha?
It's
like it's when you're texting, you say lol haha
in the same sentence. You can't use it in the same text.
You're so funny.
This is definitely giving that. It's so empty. This is like that cliche thing that the trope of empty minded girl.
It's like, he gives the like worst pickup line and you're like,
you're so funny.
Our valley girl is on point today.
But then she says, I wish I could skinny dip inside your mind.
Whoa.
0 to 100. Oh my god. I wrote Ayo. First of all, I wrote Ayo.
Well, we won't take this in any unsolicited connotations. But I wish I could skinny dip inside your mind. Being a bare thought, that's kind of like a very open. She wants him to see the raw version of herself. That's what I kind of thought it, because we're not taking this in dirty connotations. I wish I could skinny dip inside your mind, meaning she wants him to see her as the raw version of herself.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And it's in his mind, like he doesn't picture her like that. Like on the outside, like it could be like that. And you know what we didn't get into? We just said like it's an open compliment of you're so funny, but what she's saying, he's funny. Like is she mocking him by saying that? Like you're so funny. Like is it sarcastic?
Is it sarcastic?
It
could be sarcastic.
It could be sarcastic.
It could be that he's like just a little bit. He makes some jokes and then she says, "You're so funny."
That sounds also like something somebody would say when they're drunk. Like,
that's what I think. Like, oh, you're so funny, but like completely high.
Yeah, like that's exactly like.
And it is so empty. And maybe she is high. Yeah. Or I don't go back because she is an observant person. She's not naive at all. But if she were on drugs, that would explain that she's not like seeing things to the full depth. So maybe she is drugged, and then Babe is just like sort of funny, and then that's what she likes. But the skinny dip, I also took it in a not dirty connotation because we don't want. But skinny dipping is like very exposed, and in order to skinny dip with someone, you have to like fully trust them. Yeah. Because this is such a vulnerable state to be in, and then plus you like feel the sensation of the water more acutely, I think. Yeah. Because you don't have like clothing over you. It's fully enveloped, and she wants to be fully on his mind. Yeah. I wish. Yeah. She wants his entire mind to like be on her, and she wants to feel. Yeah, sort of like all eyes on me, but like she wants to feel that his entire mind is thinking about her and consumed with her.
Okay, and I think, I'm just gonna go back to You're So Funny because it almost perplexes me that like, little, and I'll just connect that back to my own little thesis, but You're So Funny, I wish I could skinny dip into your mind. It's all about her not being the true depiction of herself in his mind. And You're So Funny could just imply that she's trying to make him, like, patronize him, I think. Like, you're so funny. Like, understand me now. Why can't you? Like, I'm trying to be invested in you, be invested in me back.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh my god, why did the camera just do that?
Wait, what?
It's like the light came on and the light came on. It's okay. Let it be.
We can cut that.
Alright. Any other thoughts?
It is a little bit. It's very perplexing, and I wrote here that like, along with I like to watch them sway on the palm trees, You're So Funny is not very deep at all.
Yeah.
It's something a naive person would say, and it's also, it's not something a child would say, because children come up with the most insightful things sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's like,
children are not gonna be like bland like that.
Stereotypical, like, dumb girl thing to just like,
you're bland
compliment your significant other on being so funny.
Very stereotypical.
It's very stereotypical. It's not deep at all, but she is a deep person. Even when she's saying that empty thing, she follows it up with like a deep comment about skinny dipping inside your mouth.
Yeah. I think, and that just like adds to like, oh, she's delusional.
Yeah.
But we can move to lately. I've been thinking about how things used to be. We said it in such an odd way. Very robotically. Robotically?
I was
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to say it not like the song. Well, I was like struggling to not say it like the song. Because it has a very distinct rhythm when it's.
Well, I'm trying to think about what this could mean for your plot line. So what'd you put?
For this one, it's just like
we're doing a school assignment.
For this one, this one doesn't tie too much into the manipulation. I've been forgetting to tie it back to manipulation, but this one doesn't tie too much into the manipulation, but it does tie into the like their relationship, about how things used to be. The show's reflection, and it is again showing her awareness. Like she's fully aware that things have changed, probably not for the better. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like she says lately, that means she never always used to think that, but then how things used to be. And I think this works well for my kind of explanation because like her relationship originally with Jimmy always was raw and open. It was very like, you see me, I see you, we love each other, until like the power part of it came in. He got into power, she was exposed to her power as well, and then it all became, I'm power hungry, let me take your power, you take my power, and it was all so overall lately I've been thinking about how things used to be. She might want to go back to how things used to be, as someone might say regarding this line. But it's not very deep either. Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's not deep. What? It's not deep. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like not. It doesn't lend itself to as much analysis as some of the other things. Yeah. Because it's just reflection. She's reflecting, and the reflection does show a long-established relationship. At least that's how I took it, and the fact that things have declined a bit in their relationship. And the fact that she's aware of the change, which would show that she's not naive. That makes sense. The next lines are very interesting. Yes. Swinging in a nightgown underneath the old oak tree. I felt burnt out and did not want to analyze this, but I analyzed it anyway. So what did you say? Well, I'll let you go first. Okay. Well, this one, and I almost tied it to the next line, sort of. At least the first part of the next line, almost Victorian with you. But this, like, swinging in a nightgown, swinging is another very innocent act, like skipping rope. And then a nightgown. I mean, nightgowns can be sort of like provocative garments, but when she says Victorian, like the connotations of Victorian use and nightgown use, it's sort of like a long roughly old lady Victorian nightgown.
Okay.
Which is like almost prudish and not at all like sensual. And then old oak tree. This took me back to the South again almost. Like swinging in a New Orleans yard, sort of swinging in a tree. It's very childish, it's very innocent, and then it's also sort of trustworthy. Because like she's trusting someone to push her on a swing, and she's trusting someone else to be in like pajamas.
Okay, that's really interesting. Regarding the verb swinging, I thought it was more like dancing rather than like playing on a playground. I thought it was more like dancing around the old oak tree, which once again comes back to the spiritual meaning of like the old oak tree, Pocahontas kind of vibey thingy, and swinging in a nightgown. I didn't think much of that. Honestly, I was just like, oh, I don't want to analyze this. But I think it's just once again depicting her spiritual value and how spiritually connected she is, which could depict her power.
Oh, interesting.
Her personal power.
I like that.
Okay.
And then the next line,
yes,
almost Victorian.
Almost Victorian. No, wait, okay, we're gonna do it properly. Almost Victorian with you, and you can talk to me. Okay, Victorian, well, the Victorian regime, it's a very old regime, which ties back into the power of having power. So almost Victorian with you. So they're almost having this great regime of power. And she wants him to communicate with her. She wants to be a part of it, but at the same time, she doesn't.
Oh,
I don't know. Did you get it?
Yeah,
Did you follow?
I do. Yeah, I do follow. And I like that you both interpreted Victorian very differently, as like different aspects of the Victorian reign. Because she did rule for a very long time, and she did have incredible power and lots of colonies.
Yes.
I took it as the Victorian, like the way that Britain and all the British Empire had to act under Victoria, because she was so conservative and strict about like covering your body and behaving with manners and formality and grace and poise and lots of dignity. And it was, I mean, for a queen, it was rather patriarchal. Not necessarily patriarchal, but like women had to wear long skirts and cover up and had to be modest. And I think she was rather prudish. And that's how I took it. In this sense, it's like
that makes a lot of sense too. I think that could also tie in for me. But that's do you have a full like connection at this line?
Yeah, well, because the overarching thing is manipulation, right? And then in the Victorian era, men were very much in charge of the women in their household. They handled the finances. They told the women what to do. Women were, at least they were supposed to be stuck in the house doing the cleaning, taking care of the children and all that.
Yes.
And he is sort of manipulating her and treating her, at least in the song, like a little girl. Someone incompetent, someone naive, someone who couldn't handle the figures of business. Not necessarily business. I'm mixing my metaphors. But like, Victorian women didn't really have businesses because the fragile woman can't handle figures.
Right.
And in this, she's like a little child, which is how I took it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, then she says, but lately I can see. Well, should we just add the next line as well? You wanted me sadder. Lately I can see you wanted me sadder. Okay. You start off because, well, yours is, I think it ties in pretty well. It's very obvious. Mine's like, well, we kind of already went over this.
Yeah.
I think lately she's able to recognize that he's not with her just for love, and rather, for me, the power, and for you, the manipulation. Now, I have a question for you. Why does he want to manipulate her?
Why does he want to manipulate her?
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, he's manipulating her and putting her into the box of like being a little girl. Sad little girl. I couldn't quite understand why he wants her sad, other than like, if he can make her sad,
yeah,
then he can control her.
No, yours
emotions.
makes more sense than mine does. Because generally when you're sadder, you're more vulnerable and
vulnerable.
Vulnerable or I always said vulnerable, but
either way,
vulnerable.
Yeah, like a sad little girl, you can convince her of things. You can tell her like you are more easily manipulated when you're in a not fragile, but like more vulnerable.
Yeah. And then she repeats, "You want to be sadder again," and then can't you see it?
That line is really interesting.
Okay, well, you go.
So lately I can see, I like that line because you end a verse on it. Like you can tie it to the next line, or you can just leave it blank. Like lately I can see her eyes have definitely opened now. Yeah. And perhaps she...
Wait, is it late? No, wait, can't you see?
Can't you see, but I was going back lately.
Oh, okay.
But like can't you see is very interesting also.
Oh. Whoa.
Wait.
But lately, I can see, can't you see it? Because now she's able to recognize it, but he doesn't understand that she's going through all of this. Like, she doesn't want this.
Oh.
So maybe he doesn't, well, for you, maybe he doesn't know that he's manipulating her.
Yeah.
And for me, maybe he doesn't know that she doesn't want the power. Maybe that's why he's enforcing it.
That line definitely works for yours. Yours is like, it ties in very nicely to your analysis.
No, but it also ties in for yours.
Or maybe she's just asking him like, are you manipulating me on purpose? Is your intent to control me? Yeah. Because like, can't you see it? Are you doing this on purpose? And then reason,
yeah. For me, you are one. For me, you are the one. And if I'm not the one for you, just don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it. Okay, I combined those two, but
I just did.
2 lines.
I think in my initial analysis, I even combined "can't you see it" with that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Because like,
well, why don't you share that then?
It wasn't until right now that you said it that "can't you see it" sort of tied into like. Well, when you said like, can you? Are you manipulating me on purpose? Like, can you see that I'm not happy? Before I was like, can't you see that you're the one for me? That she loves him so much. She truly loves him, and she, despite who he is and how he treats her, she wants to spend the rest of her life.
She loves him. I think that's the breaking point here. It's like, despite all of this, even after all of this drama, she still loves him. It's like. Hello?
Yeah, but it's very interesting here because I made a note of the fact that the music at this time doesn't sound stereotypically like in love. Yeah. Like Ella Fitzgerald.
We'll get to that.
We're not even that far. But the music in the song Fishtail at this moment doesn't sound in love. Like when she says, "You're the one for me," and if I'm not the one for you, don't just say it. That's not loving necessarily, but she does love him. Yeah. Or maybe she thinks she loves him. And she just actually needs him and relies on him because of the stability. But he tells her that it would seem like he's just telling her she's the one for him. Yeah. Because that's what you say. When someone says it to you, you don't just say like, "Oh, actually, I'm just dating you." Yeah. You say it back. Yeah.
I think going off of that, for me, you are the one. So she loves him, obviously, claiming that she loves him. And like, she wants to be with him no matter what. So at this point, she's almost succumbing to the reality of like being with this guy if she has to do things that she doesn't want to do because she loves him that much. So just don't say it, because instead I will succumb to whatever you ask me to comply to. Which I find very, very sad.
This is another line where she uses "if." Interestingly.
Yeah, if.
Like,
and if I am not the one for you.
If I'm not the one for you.
If I'm
not. It's very interesting that she puts "if" there.
She doesn't know, once again.
She doesn't know,
So which, I feel like Lana is always naive in her songs, as she depicts herself.
Or like, perhaps just seems naive.
Yeah, seemingly naive. Which goes back to, she's got things that she can fight back if she wanted to.
Yeah. Okay, so...
This is like, I was on the stairs, Ella Fitzgerald in the air. so good. Okay.
I know you went very deep into the Ella Fitzgerald.
Kind of. Kind of. Okay. Would you like to share first?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I didn't have a very deep analysis of this one. I noted several things. I was on the stairs, which is a past tense. Ella Fitzgerald on the air, number one, that shows like there's a radio there. I don't know the significance of the fact that there's a radio. Ella Fitzgerald's, at least I think, quite a romantic singer. I mean, you listen to the music, so
I was listening to a lot of her music, and it was very joyous, but classy, and also kind of sad at points. But it's sort of romantic.
It sort of like pinpoints a specific moment. And then as I was reading this verse again when it comes back around, I thought, like, what if this is like a snapshot of the scene where Babe just said she was the one for him with no meaning to it. She was like listening to Ella Fitzgerald. She felt great. She felt in love. She was with the one love of her life. And then he said it back, and maybe she just didn't feel the connection. And so now she just like remembers that moment very distinctly as the thing that woke her up.
Oh, that's very interesting. I just said that, well, she was on stairs, Ella Fitzgerald in the air. I think that I took this as a moment, but I really delved into what the moment was. Growing up, I recall like getting dressed up and then like standing on the stairs and like taking little photos and like you the first look or whatever. And I think are we also going to feeling rare? Okay. Well, because she was on the stairs and Ella Fitzgerald in the air, that whole like classy feeling, I think, could be where she realized, oh my gosh, I'm in love. You know, Labor Charlotte, Taylor Swift. No, just because I associate you with Taylor Swift a lot.
I'm just casually, secretly Taylor Swift.
Take off the wig, Hannah. No, it's the other way around. Put on the wig, Hannah. So yeah, feeling very rare means, once again, with power, you are almost a 1 in a million. You're like 1 in a million figure, meaning you have significance that nobody else has. So feeling rare like that, she felt valued in this moment where he was giving her the love, and there was no thing where she had to physically be in power or felt like she needed to do anything.
Oh, interesting.
That's all I have.
I definitely also got the whole like when you get dressed up
and
you feel so epic. You stand on the stairs to listen to music.
Okay, let's move on. Baby, if you care.
Do we want to tie in?
Well, yeah, we'll tie in the next episode. Baby, don't you dare say that you'll braid my hair, babe. That's a lot. And I guess you can also say, if you don't really care, you want to be sad. So once again, it's all repetition at this point. It's just like, I feel like it's like a help call. Like, help me. Like, I'm locked in a basement.
It is sort of like hyperbolic. She just keeps repeating this stuff, like, don't you dare say you braid my hair. And she keeps addressing him with these like terms of endearment, but they don't really sound endearing. They sound almost pleading. Like she's trying to pull on his heartstrings. She's trying to get some sort of emotional reaction so he'll stop messing with her heart.
Now, I just recalled this, but to add to your manipulation motif, what she says here is, baby, if you care, baby, don't you dare say that you'll braid my hair. This is a good example of coercion. And coercion is a facet of manipulation. So it's like, if you love me this much, you will do all of this for me. So I think this person, and coercion could be valid at points that are not, the bad side of coercion. But yeah, I guess this is just like her once again reiterating that I want your love, but I don't want everything that you come with. Like, I don't want all the pain that you come with.
Yeah, she wants to be loved by him. She doesn't want to be...
Exactly.
She does want to be with him, but she doesn't want to just be with him.
Yeah.
She wants to be loved by him.
She wants to be loved by him.
Because maybe once she was satisfied to just have him, and maybe he didn't love her as much as she loved him, but as long as she had him, she was fine. But now she wants to be loved. Like that flip in AW.
Yeah. That flip, oh my gosh. Okay.
She wants more than like physical affection with no emotional connection. She wants the depth of a proper love.
Yeah, that makes sense. That goes into You Wanna Be Sadder, and that's the end of the first course. And then we also have the second verse, which starts with dancing there in the hot sun. Dancing there.
There. I drew a question mark over there because where is
where over there?
Where's there?
Where's there?
Dancing was very interesting.
Yeah.
Another innocent verb.
So many innocent verbs.
So many innocent verbs.
Well, dancing there in the hot sun could also just imply a lot of past time. Like I feel like she keeps telling him like, I don't want to spend my life like dealing with all the things that you deal with. I want like little innocent things like this. Like I want all of your sweet nothings. Taylor. I love how we're analyzing a Lana Del Rey song and we're just like, Taylor Swift. Take us to Eras Tour.
Oh my god. This is probably because we were talking about
Eras Tour.
But dancing, well, I wrote that like, on one hand, dancing can show happiness. On the flip side, dancing is something that people do when they're high. Like Daisy very much would just like dance randomly under the influence of drugs and alcohol, because she's obviously not in full consciousness, full position of her capacities,
of her intelligence.
Yeah.
And might I mention that Daisy's a really intelligent character.
Yeah,
just
she is.
At points,
as a writer, she's amazing.
Yeah, as a writer, Daisy is amazing, for sure. Daisy's like one of my favorite book characters of all time. But she's messed up a lot of times as well. I guess there's not too much to analyze with that first line, but I know that we've got problems. I plan to address another day. So good. Okay, this whole second verse.
Oh my god, the second verse.
I know that we've got problems. So, well, that ties back into the whole thing that I've been trying to say, which is they have this power dynamic issue where he wants to braid her hair. He wants her to be in that power dynamic situation where she has the same amount of power as him. She's also working towards creating this regime, the Victorian regime, and this whole time she doesn't want that. She's trying to constantly tell him that, so that's her problems, but she says, I plan to address another day, which means at this moment he could be giving her his love, he could be giving her his love, and then she's like, whatever, we'll focus on it later. I just want your love, and I want to tell you that this is all I wanted from you.
Yeah, I got that too. Like, she recognizes the flaws, but she doesn't want to ruin it and lose him.
Yeah.
But I also thought that the fact that she knows they have problems shows she's smart. She is aware.
She's aware.
She's definitely
details.
She noticed what's wrong in their relationship. That it's so flawed.
Yeah.
But she loves him and she doesn't want to lose him.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to create awkward situations and force him to love her or leave. Yeah. Because she's just happy to have him.
No, yeah, makes sense. That's true. I can definitely see that. And then that goes into our favorite line, palm trees in black and white. I see in Technicolor. Oh my god. Okay. Repetition of the palm trees in black and white from earlier, and then define Technicolor.
Technicolor, I don't know the actual definition of Technicolor, but when I read it, I just sort of interpreted it as
she can now see the color.
Colorful, like it's very colorful.
Yeah.
But potentially the wrong colors, which we'll get into later.
Oh, okay. That ties into the next line.
Yeah, but we'll get into that later.
Okay.
So I also have analysis for just these 2 lines. So what did you say?
Well, I kind of said that she understands the issues that they're going through, which is I know that we've got problems. I see in Technicolor and all of that. But yeah, since those palm trees are in black and white, everyone else doesn't see the issue that she doesn't want that power, and then she's the only one knowing that, like, yo, I don't want the power, I don't want to be in this position, I want to live my life, you're restricting me terribly. Yeah, that's all.
That's interesting. I like that. I very much like how this all ties into this motif of power in your analysis. It's like, it's very interesting, because I didn't see that. But it's
well, I feel like, that's why we're sharing.
Yeah, that's the whole point, to get other points of view. And this was so interesting.
Yeah.
I took this as the black and white, again, it's showing narrow-mindedness. And she's saying that she's not narrow-minded.
Yeah.
In this, like, I see in Technicolor, she's broad-minded, but, I mean, she's very open. She's open to different types of relationships, which is something we see a lot in Lana Del Rey. She has, like, rather unconventional relationships in a lot of her songs. And in this song, she's open to potentially having someone who doesn't love her as much as she loves them. But at some point, she needs to draw the line.
Yes,
which is
I agree.
next.
Okay, now, such an interesting line. We're gonna sing this. Maybe I'll take my glasses off so I stop painting red flags green. Okay, the way she says green at the end, the way it just fades. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good. Okay. I feel like it's obvious, but it's a really good line.
Yeah, it's not one of those lines that's good because you can dive deep into the analysis. It's very much face value.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Another thing that I found interesting about the line is she's aware that she has glasses on. She says maybe. Like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Why not? Why wouldn't she take them off? Maybe she likes his red flags, which is a common Lana thing anyway.
Yeah, definitely. In a lot of the songs. I mean,
I feel like we should start addressing her, like, Del Rey mentions at this line in this song. Are we supposed to do that?
Del Rey.
Del Rey. No, we're just gonna call her Lana. She's like a sister, which is which is an interesting depiction, but
definitely.
Yeah, she's like an idol.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Lana,
yeah. She does say maybe. She's like, it's almost lazy.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
It's almost like she's not necessarily drugged, but she's
like
like
so apathetic.
Yeah, exactly, apathetic.
It's like
maybe I'll take my glasses off.
Maybe.
I mean, I see that they're red flags.
Yeah.
It's not like she doesn't see the red flags.
And painting red flags green.
Yeah. She sees them and she forces them to be green flags.
She forces them to be green flags.
She takes these bad signs and then she like flips it and makes it good so that she can keep her.
It's gonna make it green.
Keep her stability. This is part of why I think maybe she doesn't actually love him. Like she thinks she loves him, but what she actually loves is the stability of having him.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And I feel like, once again, this line is pretty straightforward. We kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
And then, lately I've been sunning in the LA riverbed. I just find this very aesthetic.
Yeah.
This was just like my aesthetic dream. But the riverbed, I googled that and it's like,
me too.
It's like this weird dam looking thing.
Yeah. I did a lot of googling the LA riverbed.
Good, isn't it? But there's nothing like really there. It's just like empty place with
it's
no
not
water.
scenic.
Yeah, it's definitely not scenic.
It's not scenic.
It's not scenic.
And a lot of it, there's no place to even go. It's just like
where
dirt.
would you even LA riverbed sun?
Yeah, it's just like dirt, like the road, and then it's dirt. And there are some beaches, but they're like so overcrowded. Yeah, you can't sun naked on those beaches.
Well, let's also.
I wasn't gonna Google naked beaches in the LA school computer.
Let's also note the fact that sunning takes a long time. Like it's not just like, I mean, in some places it could be a 10-minute job, but
it shows.
Yeah, it takes time to like, and some people are very dedicated to sunning. They're like, we have this whole like little routine where they apply certain creams and then they like sit. I've seen it like on like influencers stories and stuff. They like have this whole routine, suntan routine.
I don't know how it works.
But when you like burn like a chicken nugget, that's not, you know, ideal. But anyway, so this whole sunning thingy takes very long, and I guess it's just her aesthetic. I just view this as an aesthetic thing.
Yeah. Oh, I also, along with the LA Riverbend being just like not a place you go sunning naked, it's also the name of an indie band.
Is it?
LA Riverbend.
Oh. Indie. Oh, how nice. What songs have they made?
I have no idea. I didn't do that much research. I just like, it was just like, there's an indie band.
There's an
and it's
indie
like,
band.
okay,
We love indie bands.
I'll just note that.
Let's note that.
Because maybe she's talking about them, maybe not. If I don't know how you could like suntan in a band. So,
well, going back to what you said earlier, the next line is wearing nothing but the summer bruises
on my knees.
On my knees. This is so aesthetic. This is very Daisy as well.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Yeah.
This is why I got like more modern, summery, drugged influence.
Yeah, like I
in
have
the
bruises
overall.
on my knees.
Well, the summer bruises, that's like such a childhood thing. Reference to another childhood thing.
Oh.
Like everyone gets bruises on their legs in the summer, random bruises.
Fall random.
Yeah, but I feel like as a motif, bruises on your legs in the summer is such a childhood thing.
Yeah.
Because like all children just go out and play in the summer and come back with random bruises and scrapes. But she says she's wearing nothing but the summer bruises on her knees.
Which just adds to like the interesting connotations.
Interesting connotations, and the fact that it seems almost like under the influence of drugs. Because it seems, I don't know what sober person would go out and sunbathe naked in the LA Riverbend. Because
that's a very abstract thought. But I think additionally that just adds to her appeal, like attractiveness. And I think it's just like her raw version of herself. She's trying to show the real version of herself, and that's the real version. Wearing nothing but the summer bruises.
I like that
summer bruises, so obviously LA.
Yeah.
Spiritually, and then coming to LA.
Yeah.
Obviously, all of these like modern references cannot tie into my old time plot fantasy thingy, but we try.
Well, I also like bruises are imperfections. Not that they're bad, but like
well, they're deemed as
yeah. With the ideal image of perfect skin with no blemishes, bruises are like these imperfections, which very much ties into your idea of like this is her raw self, completely vulnerable, with no clothes covering her.
And then I like how you talk, how you speak, how you look at me. We said that like actual poetry nerds. Like I feel like it's very Hamilton of us.
Oh my god, I'm gonna start rapping Hamilton.
Start rapping Hamilton.
Nope, bring that.
I think this is just once again those weird open compliments, like I don't know, like very you're cool, you're funny, haha.
When I was analyzing this, I forgot before she said you're so funny. I completely forgot about that fact because I took this as like perhaps this is Babe talking to her. Like, this is Babe trying to give her affection.
Okay.
Like, instead of saying that he loves her deeply and, like, she's the one for him, he's like, I like how you talk, how you speak, how you look at me. Which is such superficial things. It's, like, nothing about her personality, nothing about her. It's the sound her voice makes. And how...
That's a good point you make.
It's almost narcissistic. Because it's, like, the reason I like you is because you admire me. Because of like
I'm so cool.
I think Babe's a bit narcissistic.
Babe's definitely narcissistic. And so is Jimmy. Jimmy was narcissistic. All of Lana's boys are narcissistic. Joke. I didn't really have too much analysis on this, just like I wrote this could be good for her position of power. I don't know what that means, but it's okay. But lately
I can see
you want to be Saturn.
She says it 3 times.
Yeah, and then well, do you have any significance for the chorus? Because I just kind of skipped over. I was like,
yeah, I was like, you want to be Saturn again. It's just manipulative.
It's the same thing.
Well, for this one, I noted like there's a structure change because she says, can't you see it? For me, you are the only one, and if I'm not the one for you, line change. Yeah. Don't just say it. Yeah. So it's just like putting an emphasis on don't just say it. Yeah. Actually, that's exactly what it is. And then it goes to, you'll braid my hair, see, baby, if you care, then don't you dare say that you'll really care. Mm-hmm. So I found this very interesting, like, baby, if you care, don't you dare say that you'll really care. And I think, like, he's giving her this false positive, like, once again, going back to what I said originally, like, he's giving her this false, like, I love you, and then, but then he's like, oh, but if you want to love me, you have to do all of this, and you've got to, like, be up to this standard. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. And then, like, and he's saying, but I care about you, so, like, comply to these. And she's like, if you really care, then say you care. Yeah. I like the fact that Lana Del Rey's lyrics often change in structure from the beginning to the end, which show like some sort of flip. Heaven. Yeah. Yes. Some sort of flip in the narrative. I think A and W also, right? Yes, A and W. In the beginning, there was a lot of the like, you love me. Well, I love you. You love me. And then in the end, it's like, love me. Yeah. Please love me. Please love me. But in this one, it's very interesting. She's like saying, don't lie to me. Don't just tell me these empty bits of affection. Don't say things that you don't mean. Off topic, but when you heard of A&W, did you like think of the beer? Yeah, I did. I thought of the root beer. Me too. I saw the song was released and I was like, wow, I really want root beer now. And then I listened to it and it was root beer. I turned it on and before the lyrics even started, it was like still playing the opening and I looked at the comments and it was like, American whore. Oh. And then what else happened? Okay, well, she wants her hair. Well, this one, like, again, I was just reanalyzing the chorus to emphasize it. It's like she wants her hair braided by someone who does love her. Yeah. Because it's such an intimate act. No, that makes sense. And then after that, she says, when you get home tonight, if you don't really care, don't you dare say that you'll braid my hair, babe. Yeah. Well, there's another structure change here. Before she said, don't you dare say that you'll braid my hair. But now she's saying, like, just don't braid my hair. Don't braid my hair. I don't want it. Yeah. Because saying it is, like, giving you the trust. And then doing it is, like, completely breaking you. Like, it's breaking like the trust. Completely severing, like, just don't braid my hair. Because she's, like, she's taking her glasses off. Yeah. She's finally taking it off. She stopped painting red flags green. Yeah. And she's not interested in getting fake affection from this person who doesn't love her. And also the word home, like when you get home tonight, that means she could be his home, like his escape from all of this power and all of this like horrible toxic world. And if he's trying to drag her into that, she's saying, just don't drag me into that. I don't want to be dragged into that. Yeah. And then if you're not coming home to me, so if you're going to, I think in the end it's like, okay, so you got fully sucked in and you've left me now, we're done now, we're over now. Yeah. What this last line, if you're not coming home. Yeah. I think it's interesting, like, she says, when you come home tonight, and then if you're not coming home to me, it's sort of like she's saying, if I'm not the sole reason, or like if I'm not the most important reason that you're coming home, if you're not coming home excited to see me, then like don't Camilla motif. Yeah, exactly. It's like what's your real intention? Yeah. And just going back to like TJR and multiple lover books, like even Nick Riva, I feel like that's his story too. You should read now. I should. Actually, I could give that to you. And then the last thing is just she says I didn't really analyze that.
I think it's just like a sigh.
Yeah.
Like, oh well. Oh well. But it's not oh well in like an apathetic way. It's like oh well, like, well that's that. I don't have to not apathetically say oh well.
Yeah.
Probably because I'm inherently sarcastic.
I don't think you can really say oh well without saying. It's like oh well.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. But that's the whole song.
Well,
That's
there's the final part.
well. Which part?
The like.
Oh yeah. I didn't even write that. But you can.
Okay.
I'll share as you
Alright.
say.
Well, you can look at the things. But
Okay.
It's another structure change.
Uh-huh.
Instead of saying you wanted me sadder, you just like you wanted someone sadder.
Okay.
Which very much ties into like
how interesting.
he just wants someone sad who he can like control. He just wants someone who's emotionally vulnerable at that point because it makes it easier for him to manipulate.
Mm-hmm. I don't know
He
why I
wants a
copied
sad-
this.
He wants like maybe you didn't see it. Like I didn't copy this when you get home tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe someone.
Yeah, I don't know because it's a relatively new
Yeah.
song. This came out like last month.
But he just wants tied back to the Fishtail. He wants this like little girl who he can control. This sad little person he can manipulate. So he can keep them in the sadness, in the vulnerable state, which makes them more susceptible to manipulation. But I took this final verse as after she broke up with him.
Oh, okay.
Like that's why
You
there's
want someone sadder.
You want
Okay, so
someone
now he's
sadder.
going to look for someone sadder.
Yeah.
And then skipping rope in the bayou. I think this is like, remember how we started?
Yeah.
Remember like our beginnings and then slip softly in terrain.
Yeah.
Is it in the terrain or in terrain?
I'm not. I think
It's in terrain.
in Terran.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in terrain here.
And so did I.
Yeah.
So I think it's in Terran.
Slip softly in slip. Slip softly in terrain.
I didn't really analyze that, like in the final
Yeah.
verse. But the smart. But I've got things to say. There's a line break that's very interesting.
Yeah, the line break.
And in this one, it sounds like something that maybe Babe told her a bunch of times. That like you're not that smart, or he somehow like made it feel.
And I love how she
smart.
whispers that last one. She's
Yeah.
like,
I've got things to say. And she's sort of like agreeing sarcastically, like, oh yeah, I'm not that smart. Yeah, sure, whatever, babe. I'm not smart. But now that they've broken up, and she gets to like move on and have a voice.
yeah, exactly.
And say all the things she said.
It's almost like the younger sister talks to the races. Your analysis.
Oh.
Like younger sister, like Off to the Races is like, I love you. But like Fishtail's like, I love you, but
Forever, not maybe.
yeah, I love you forever, not maybe. Well, that's also uncertainty
Yeah.
in Off to the Races. But that was the end of the song.
Yeah.
What is your overall rating? Well, what's your overall rating of the song and then the analysis of the song?
Oh, okay. My overall rating of this song, I think in terms of like listening,
Okay.
I need to figure out my scale. So like out of 10,
Out of 10. I rate them out of 10, but you
Yeah.
could do 5.
I would say-
6.
out of 10, I would give it solid 7.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, 7. I mean, yeah, for listening, it's definitely a 7. But that's that's susceptible to change.
Yeah.
I don't think it would increase, but it could become a 6.5. No, it could become a 7.5 either.
I was
Either.
20
As
like
well. It could be
6 or 7
Yeah.
in terms of listening.
Yeah.
But then the beat drop
Mhm.
is what put it into the 7.
Yeah, oh my gosh, the beat drop is so good. And then
My
analysis.
rating of the analysis, as in like full plot,
Mm-hmm.
I would say 5. Like it's.
I agree. I would say it's a 5.72.
Yeah, I see. I can see that because it's like it's not the most compelling plot.
The thing about there's some really good selling lines here. Like
There's some great lines. Of
the
course.
palm trees and Technicolor.
Yeah. Maybe I should take my glasses.
Yeah. I think that makes it above average.
Yeah.
If average is 5, then it makes it above average.
But ultimately, overall, like as a plot, it's
Yeah.
not the most.
It's kind of okay. I like your plot more than mine. Mine seems like a little bit. It's interesting, but I liked the vibe of yours. Of course, I like the motorcycle jockey vibe, but.
I like yours, maybe because I'm still like high on Game of Thrones.
Okay.
But I
have you finished it?
No, I'm only 100 pages in. It's a thick book. But mine was, I don't know, it just seemed it sort of fit with a lot of other Lana Del Rey songs. The like motorcycle.
Yeah, it did. Well, that's the end of our analysis.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned to the Bookbinders to see our whole Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard
analyses,
multiple analyses, and then our connection episode where we connect all of the songs to each other and leave any potential songs you want us to analyze in the comments or forms of media. This can be movies or shows and stuff.
Books,
whatever we can.
Yeah.
We'll analyze.
We like to analyze everything.
We like to overthink stuff to cope with